Hey Scrappy Peeps, Susanna here today to share with you a layout I created using my Shimelle box of crayons from the scrap room. This is the layout I created, and I was inspired by Shimelle's hashtag scrapbookingismysuperpower, and this is for day 2, which is cups and drinks. I had 3 pieces of pattern paper that came in my kit, and I cut out the center of that heart there, and I left left me with the blue polka dotted background, and I wanted to put in a background that worked with the layout for me. I love the multicolored heart that Shimelle had, but that doesn't work for my type A highlighted bolded personality. The colors just didn't work for me, and so I had to put a different backing to the heart there. And so in order to conserve the paper, I just trimmed out enough to give me a border around that heart, which I'm then going to back by using some adhesive, and that is a much calmer, more cohesive background for me. I toyed with the idea of hand stitching around the edge, both on the inside or the outside, but by the time I finished completing the layout, I didn't really leave myself room. I probably could have fudged it and made it work, but I like the layout the way that it ends up being. So with Scrapbooking is My Superpower, Shimelle presents you with 3 different options. You can do literal, which means that you literally use cups and drinks. 2 is poetic, and 3 is magical or somehow Disney related. And I went with the literal because I am literally using cups and drinks, as well as other food in my layout. So I have these 2 pictures. One is of a latte and the other is of a crepe. Recently we went to Tennessee for spring break, and this is a well-earned snack that we had at the end of the day. And I'm going to toy with this piece of paper a little bit. I feel like this picture needs a little bit of backing to it. It needs that white, but I can't make up my mind on that. So I'm going to move on and continue to design a little bit more before I decide what I want to do. So the principal colors that I am using for this layout are inspired by that pattern piece of paper to the right there, with the pink, the orange, the aqua, and that darker green. So I wanted to, with the scrap room kits, you don't get the full collection of embellishments. You can see the stickers that I have there. I have half the sticker pack and then a selection of other embellishments. And so in order to create more embellishments, Rochelle always includes something that is fussy cuttable. So in addition to the heart being fussy cuttable, you can see that these flowers are fussy cuttable as well. And so I wanted to create a little bit more. There is a wealth of embellishments here. I just wanted a little bit more that complemented the theme that I was working with, as well as the color scheme that I was working with. I will tell you that for me, this layout is probably the most random layout that I have ever created. Most of my embellishments tend to serve a purpose. I'm not quite sure what flowers have to do with lattes, other than, I don't know, it's just decoration to the page. So I'm going to fussy cut out a bunch of different flowers that I can use that will complement the stickers that are on the sticker sheet that are in the embellishment pack. And I do speed through this because I don't need to bore you to death with fussy cutting. You know what fussy cutting is. Just make sure you move the paper and you have a sharp pair of scissors. I really liked that pink, and that pink complemented the colors that I wanted to use, as there really wasn't any other pink in the layouts. So it was perfect in order to be able to cut out yes, and then I knew I was going to use the tiny alpha stickers that come with the kit to finish out coffee. So I do ultimately decide that I am going to back this photo. I always preserve those selvage strips at the end there because you never know when you might need them. They come in handy for lots of fun things, and I'm going to trim this down in order to give myself that lighter edge around the photo, which works much better with the crepe, which is on a white plate there. So I have my 2 photos, and those of you who know me and follow my scrapbooking know that if I use 2 photos, very rarely do they go directly side by side. Well, they do go directly side by side, but they're usually staggered. One is higher than the other, which I have done here. And I've pulled some of the embellishments that are going to work in that they are of the same color scheme that this layout is. I love this collection. This is a box of crayons from Shimelle. I put up a Tuesday morning haul earlier that also shares with you something I found at Tuesday morning from Box of Crayons, which was kind of a nice score. So I do go back to these flowers, and I want to incorporate them into the layout because it's consistent with the color scheme that I'm using. It's just a matter of how I'm going to strategically place them on the page so that they're actually on the page and somehow incorporated into the design element of this. I don't want that empty space between the heart and the photos either, so I have to sort of play with it, and I don't want that orange in there so that the photo ends up covering up the oranges and working with the color scheme that I've got there. I thought I might back that second photo with some more of the paper, but really it doesn't need it. What I am going to do, you'll see that it's hard to tell whether that's a navy and white stripe, diagonal stripe, or a black and white diagonal stripe. I'm going to cut off just a little bit of that and put that to the right of the photo, which also make it looks like the photo is matted as well. So I use my die cut, my silhouette for yes, and then I'm going to finish that off, the title, with coffee. One of the only other things that I end up doing off camera, sometimes I do a lot more than normal or than usual. The only thing I do this time off camera is I am going to use a gray pen and write on that space to the right of the photos in the heart there and tell my story. And I like the way that it still leaves a big open space, but also tells my story. I struggle with, part of these pages is telling the story as well. And so I was pleased to be able to get the journaling in and make this page tell a story. I'm going to use a red heart there. That gold star came with the embellishment pack, and I can't move it now because it's adhered down, but it kind of looks the layout is very bottom left heavy. And it's fun, but that gold star could probably have been put somewhere else, but it's down now, and so it's staying there. Kind of like the peace sign of the hands there, and in a way it fits with the story, but as I said before, this is one of the most random pages that I have ever created, and honestly I'm okay with it. I really like the page, and I like the way that it turned out, and I was able to use what came in the kit and make it work for me and still have plenty left over to probably do another page or so. So I'm going to mix the embellishments as well as the stickers from the embellishment add-ons and put that fun little shaker heart there, and that is going to be the bulk of the layout. Actually, I do other things off camera. I have a little Bella Boulevard puffy heart that'll go up near the top right, as well as a Bella Boulevard enamel star that'll go down by the star, that gold star, and just sort of tie everything together. So I hope you enjoyed my hashtag scrapbooking is my superpower day 2 cups and drinks. If you have any questions about the scrap room kits, please don't hesitate to leave them in the box down below, or any other question for that matter. I appreciate you following me and watching the video. I hope you are doing well. Take care.